Well, this is. Are you looking at this now? Folks, what you are looking at is the state of independent music, mainly independent American music in the spring of 2008. There is some really bad music in that pile. There's also some really richly deserving music in that pile. None of it has a prayer of making it into commercial broadcast. And all of these musicians, some of them terrible, some of them very worthy, are left with, they're left in this desperate state. They want to find a home in radio, because that's what, even if they're 20, most people still grew up with radio.
You've caught me. I'm in trouble. So I don't have anything.
We're, increasingly one of the few stations in the country, and by few I mean probably, less than 1,000 terrestrial radio stations in the country that will actually play stuff that everyone hasn't heard before, or that's a little off-center, a little obscure, or foreign, or anything like that. So what we get is we get people in their basements in Alberta, Canada. We get bands that should be really well recognized and that tour constantly and can't get a record deal, or that get a record deal but can't sell any records because all their fans steal their music. So this is all gravy for me because I get to have fun in there going over the music, but it is really hell on the musicians. Radio should be about opening people's ears instead of closing people's ears. And that goes for news radio, and that goes for talk radio just as much as music radio. Mm-hmm. And, I think any musician would rather their stuff get on the radio where they live and where they plan to tour than have to do what most of them have to do, which is go online. They have to use file sharing. They have to give their music away. They have to go through all of these hoops to do what free radio should be doing. And if free radio was doing that, even in an incrementally better way than it is now, I think you would see people stay in the music business into their 30s. There are people who just are incredibly talented, but they just can't hold on long enough. If the artist can't pay their bills, if someone has to basically quit when they have a baby, when they actually have really good stuff to write about, they're not writing about breakups and teenage swooning. Now they can write about real life, and no one wants to hear it, and they can't hold out and make a career of it when they can contribute. When I want to hear them. Radiohead or Alice Cooper or even Janis Ian, what do these three people have in common? Almost nothing. Except they have very solid followings and people who are with them for the long, long term. A band that's just put out their first or second album doesn't have that. Their feet are not on solid ground, so what sacrifices and risks are they being asked to take?